coming in talking with us.
You're welcome.
And tell me a little bit about yourself. You are a coach.
Well, I am a women's empowerment coach, and I coach women, I would say typically over the age of 50, maybe over the age of 40, but usually over the age of 50. Women that, much like myself, I would say, who are on probably a journey that I have been on myself. I went through a difficult divorce about 20 years ago. I say difficult, I don't think any divorce is easy. I didn't know who I was. I'd lost myself. I had been so focused on my role as a mother and my role as a wife that I really didn't know who I was. And I just felt like I'd lost touch with my center, my core, my inner knowing, my intuition, my own power. So through my own work, healing and counseling work, I went to therapy for a while, and then I got certified as a life coach, and just all the learning that I've done over the last 10 plus years, I'd say, I really got in touch kind of with my own inner power and got more centered in who I was, and that I realized that those are the women that I love coaching, that are on a similar journey, that that I completely relate to their journey. I've been there. I know what it feels like, and I think I just naturally resonate with women that have maybe lost themselves in some way. Now, it could have been not necessarily through motherhood or marriage or partnership. It could be even in their career. But the common theme, I think, is that they felt disempowered on some level, and I help them feel more in touch with themselves, reconnect to their own authenticity, their own inner knowing, their own inner intuition, and then get clear kind of on what they want out of life.
You mentioned intuition as being part of empowerment. Tell me more about that.
When I talk about intuition, I think it is what it is, depending on the person and how they interpret it. But I believe it's like that quote about a still small voice within. And it is a quiet voice. And I believe we all are born with intuition, and that it's sometimes, unfortunately, depending on the family you've grown up, the culture, society, you can lose touch with it. And not because someone's purposely made you lose touch with it. Eventually that could be, but mostly that we just lose touch with it over time because of the roles we've been in or who we've been told to be. And I think that my belief is that we all have it. And I think what I'm seeing in my clients is just, much like me, kind of a forgetfulness. They've forgotten their own intuition, or they've disconnected from it, or they may have a connection, they just don't even realize it, and they need a little redirection to it. So it's something for me that's really important to help my clients with, to really sit with, reconnect to their intuition, learn to hear that voice within, because once they get clear on that inner knowing, that inner direction, then I think it's a lot clearer to get where they want to go.
Tell me about some moments that you've had with clients where you've say supported them with the intuition, or even something else that has really stood out for you.
There's a saying that I always will say with my clients and even with my friends, and back to you. Because what I have learned myself is I spent so much time focused on what other people wanted for me, that the redirection back, those words, and back to you, brought me back to my own experience and what I wanted and what felt right for me and what my intuition was telling me. And so a client recently told me that she's now finding herself, catching herself in moments through her day where she'll say to herself, and back to you. And I get chills when I hear that, because it's big. It's huge for her. She spent so much time focused on her family and being a perfect mom and being a wonderful wife. And back to her now. It's her time, and she's turning that back to her own intuition. So,
wow, that's fantastic. You kind of just laid it out. What's been a really great moment in coaching. You could sort of give an example. Maybe there's something else that you could say about it.
I think there's so much magic in coaching, and I think a big part of my journey has been to learn how powerful it is, and how really everybody can use coaching. Everybody can use it. I
Right.
still need it. I often, when I'm struggling with something, I think, okay, which one of my coaching friends can I call to get some help? Because trying to do it for yourself can be really hard when we're in the muck ourselves sometimes. And a coach is wonderful at being that person that holds space for us. We can feel safe and secure and comfortable being ourselves. And then they can help draw out those little pieces that we might not be able to draw out ourselves, or we might have more difficulty drawing out ourselves. So
Hmm. Just say you had a woman who was on the fence about whether or not she should hire a coach, particularly an empowerment coach. What would you say to her?
I guess I would just, if I want to make sure it's a good fit for them. Is this the right time? It might not be the right time. Or do they feel they have the resources to pay me? If this isn't maybe right now, then timing's a lot of it. The fact that they're calling you or asking, usually it's usually the time. They just might need to hear some more encouragement and know that they're safe. I think that's a big piece too.
Is there anything that you just want to add?
Well, I'm a work in progress. So I think that a big part of my journey, and one of the things that I like to communicate to my clients at the beginning, is I'm not perfect. And I don't want anyone to think I am. I spend a lot of time trying to be perfect. And I know that is not, I am not perfect. None of us are. I'm just, yes, I'm a coach. Yes, I'm certified. So yes, I have skills and knowledge. And yes, I've been doing this for a while. But I'm not perfect. It's never about that I've got it all figured out and you don't place. It's more like a meeting of two minds and two women that are on this journey together. And I think that's really important for me with my clients, is to know that I don't have all the answers. I don't have and I totally know that in coaching, they have the answers. I just feel like a flashlight sometimes. I just feel like that little flashlight. It's like, ooh, let's look in that corner. And then they go, oh my God, I didn't even know that was there. So that's a big part of it for me, is just making sure they understand that I don't have it all figured out, but I have some tools and I love sharing them. So.
Well, that's great. So just to shine the flashlight on you for one more moment, where can people find you?
Well, you can find me at carriehanna.com. So I have a website, and I'm also on Instagram Instagram at Carrie Hanna, and Pinterest as well. Same thing, at Carrie Hanna. Pretty much at Carrie Hanna or carriehanna.com everywhere. So
Well, that's great. Thank you so much.
thanks a lot. It's nice chatting with you.